Renault Scénic Vision. This concept reveals the lines of the fifth generation of the Renault Scénic, scheduled for 2024, and innovative interiors and hydrogen-electric mechanics scheduled for 2030. It was 1991 when the prototype of the first Renault Scénic was presented, characterized by rounded shapes and a revolutionary passenger compartment focused on conviviality and the pleasure of traveling. There were 5 single seats, the front right one rotated 180 degrees to orient it towards other passengers, and large glass surfaces. In 1996 Mégane Scénic translated these concepts into reality, which have become the leitmotif of the 4 successive generations of Scenic. Since 1999 this model has been disconnected, at least in the name, from Mégane, until today with success. In this sense, the 5th series that will debut in 2024 represents a revolution, goodbye to the shapes of a minivan to bring the concept of crossover closer, even if the technicians guarantee that at the center of the project there is always the pleasure of traveling. While waiting to verify it, we were able to closely look at the Renault Scénic Vision prototype, which foreshadows the style of the production model very closely. Stretch lines, the shapes of the Renault Scénic Vision are taut, with muscular sides, the body is 190 cm wide, and large wheels pushed into the corners of the body to optimize the habitability. The spirit of this car has not been forgotten in Paris from family. The roof is 159 cm from the ground, while the lower line of the windows is high. Overall, it feels like a car firmly planted on the ground. At a glance this prototype seems shorter than its 449 cm, it will also be due to the black color, as we will see it is linked to an innovative idea of eco-sustainability, interrupted, however, by original LED lights that act as a luminous sign on the front and rear of the car. In particular, those at the corners of the front bumper are inspired by the lines that form the lozenge symbol of the French house. Electric only. The basis on which the 5th generation of the Renault Scénic will be born is the CMF-EV, which debuted on the Mégane E-Tech, read here the first contact. It will therefore only be electric, with thin lithium-ion batteries placed under the floor. After all, the French house's goal is to have only electric models in Europe in 2030. Target that will extend in 2040 to the other models of the group in Europe, and in 2050 the rest of the world. The battery on the floor also distinguishes the Renault Scénic Vision prototype, whose innovative mechanics is set to debut, not necessarily on the Scénic, in 2030. The 40 kWh battery is recharged from the socket, direct current up to 130 kilowatts or alternating up to 22 kilowatts, but also using the fuel cells located under the rear seats, which transform the 2.5 kilograms into the current of hydrogen laced, at a pressure of 350 bar, in a tank under the front hood. Renault calls this technology H2 Tech, recalling the symbol of a gas that is potentially very friendly to the environment. Overall emissions depend on how hydrogen is produced, but certainly only harmless water vapor comes out of the car exhaust. The autonomy obtainable is about 500 kilometers, 250 with recharging, and the same number with gas. The electric motor of the Renault Scénic Vision is rear and can develop up to 218 horsepower. Among the advantages of hydrogen, supplies are rapid, but a widespread network of distributors would be needed. For now, there is only one. In France there are about 40. With this mixed technology you can also use smaller batteries. Revolutionary interior? As you can imagine at first glance, the futuristic interior of the Renault Scénic Vision is not what we will see in the production model. However, some elements will be found on other cars produced starting from 2028. We are talking, for example, of the small swiveling touch screens in the dashboard and the door panels, each customizable to interact with different thematic areas, from infotainment to ambient lights, up to the driver's vital parameters, of which the steering wheel monitors blood pressure and heart rate. Intended for series production also the audio system with speakers integrated into the driver and passenger headrests, each can create their own sound bubble, listening to their favorite music, and the 2 monitors at the base of the windscreen pillars are connected to the large screen that overlooks the dashboard, and they can show both the images taken by the cameras that replace the rear view mirrors and those of the front area, to remedy the blind spot in the turns or to highlight what is covered by the hood of the car during maneuvering. It seems more distant in time the adoption of solutions such as doors with wardrobe opening or thin single seats with cocoon airbags, cocoon to put it in English, which envelop the driver and each of the passengers in the event of an accident. In the sign of eco-sustainability, It is precisely the armchairs that take the eco-sustainability objectives that will mark Renault's future choices to the extreme. In the case of the Renault Scénic Vision, they are completely white, because the coloring of the fabrics is a polluting process. But, above all, they use only two types of materials, for complete recyclability: aluminum for the structure and recycled polyester for the foams of the padding and upholstery fabrics. The original carpet-free floor also derives from recycling and is made with plastic obtained from 45% from the recovery of milk bottles and 55% from building waste pipes. Overall, this prototype is made using 70% recycled and 95% recyclable materials. Attention to the environment has gone so far as to include purifiers in the front doors that filter the air already present in the passenger compartment and, potentially, that around the car to purify it. They have been left exposed in the panels covered with innovative reflective plastics and iridescent colors according to the external light to give brightness and liveliness. On the other hand, the paint on the body is strictly black. It uses carbon pigments obtained from the recovery and treatment of the CO2 present in the atmosphere. Carbon, in this case forged, is also found in the arches of the wheel arches and at the base of the sides. The wheel covers, on the other hand, are made of black recycled plastic, which also has an original aerodynamic function. When stationary, they have open flaps to dispose of the heat from the brakes, while in gear above 10 km/h they close due to counterweights moved by centrifugal force. To reduce turbulence. At the center of the hubs, there is a gem, the Renault Lozenge, which always remains vertical when rolling. After all, even the eye wants its part.